No, whom did you study with? She's not practicing anymore?
She has an institute.
You're from Bombay?
Well, here we are finding the soul of healing that will have an impact on your health and help you reinvent yourself. So we have the two speakers with us. That's Pooja Kapur and Shruti Sugwekar. So I hand over the mic to Pooja. Shruti. Okay, Shruti.
Okay.
Everyone. I think you have your stomachs filled up with great food. So with that energy, can I have another good afternoon, which is much more enlightening and much more powerful? Good afternoon. Thank you so much. Because I still haven't had my lunch. So, and I will have it later, yeah? Okay, so I'm Shruti Sugwekar here from Pune. And it is always amazing to be on this platform of All Ladies League and Women Economic Forum. And I have also been to Hague and London, and that was another journey which I have taken. And to be very honest, I had never thought that I will go abroad for my venturing or for my challenges through my own self-limiting beliefs that I have been into. And literally, I changed myself, and the topic here, which says reinventing yourself, I have been reinventing myself every minute, every hour, and every day, and every month. And that is what is the journey of any woman, I think. The newcomers, yes, please join in. Feel free to join in, no worries. You can have a seat here.
Thank you.
So, finally we got the third speaker. Okay, so the quorum is full now. Yeah.
So we are going to have 15 minutes for each speaker.
Yes, exactly. So I will now. Okay. Okay, so my topic, I'm going to share a few things about reinventing yourself and coming from there to the soul of healing and covering as much as I can in the 15 minutes that I have. Okay, so there was a time in my life when I was going through a lot of different phases, performing different roles in my life. I was a good daughter, I was a good daughter-in-law, I was a good mother, I was a good sister, I was a good wife, and I forgot about who I was actually myself. So there was a question, who am I, which was haunting me at some 10 to 12 years ago. And that question brought me to a completely different phase of my life, which I had never ever thought I would be going through. Because basically I come from a technical background, I'm a computer science graduate, and then later on in life has shown me different paths. And I have gone into psychology and learning of human mind, which I feel is my passion towards the science that I love, because this is science of human mind, which I am actually dealing with today. And I love doing it every minute of the day, every minute of my journey for the last 10 years. It has been amazing. I've been an entrepreneur for the last 25 years. I've been doing various different kind of jobs, some startups, and I was into various lines of profession. Coming back to the who am I, but doing all this, there was still something which was missing. And I was not able to find out what was missing in the question when I said, who am I? And that I was something which was feeling so stuck up, that I was feeling so suffocated, that I was feeling so burdened, and that I was feeling so suppressed. And I was not able to understand what is the suppression about, what is the suffocation about, what is the burden, and where am I, and what am I doing? And for anyone to have, there are changes, there are transformations in your life, there is a shift is, if that's the word that we call today. The shift in my life happened some 10 years ago when there was a person who actually thought that yes, she has a potential. There had been so many people in my life, but nobody probably did not see any spark in me at some given point in time when I needed to know it. And it came pretty late in my life from my career point of view. So today, I'm not regretting, but there was a dialogue which I always had that if I had it before 15 years ago, and if I was in this same space 15 years ago, it would have been wonderful. But then I wouldn't have been standing at the platform of WEF in an annual event here, or wouldn't have gone abroad. So time is something which is it's justified. You come to the right time, you come to the right people, and the right people in the right place, and the right opportunities come to you when you are ready for it. That has been my USP, so I will say the unique success point which I recently, in one of the sessions which I attended, so it's supposed to be unique selling point, but unique success point is something where I found out that I want to be there at the right time. So opportunities keep coming to me today. And so from the who am I went on and so on and so forth. I have not looked back. The simple logic, there are two young girls here, and I know that there is the huge life in front of you, and what is called as life, and what is it all about. It's a journey, and people will talk so many things. People will give their own narrations, will give their own experiences, because that is what they have, and that is their unique area, this is their unique point. Lessons are to be learned. The experiences are to be heard. The lessons out of those experiences will be different for everyone. So that is where you, as youngsters, particularly for the young girls who are sitting here, you will hear so many people, so many women here, men talking as well. The lessons that I learned were totally different than what anyone else has done here. So the first and foremost was believe in yourself. Believe in yourself that you can do it, whatever you can, whatever simple thing of simply calling up people and telling them what I am doing. Today, when I kept my brochures on the 4 tables here, that was one of the biggest things probably. This might sound very simple, but I am not able to market myself. I'm not able to tell people what I am doing. That has been one of my biggest challenges in my life. So social media, digital media scares the hell out of me. But I know that that is what is required in the next gen, in the next 5 years, 10 years. And I have a coach sitting here, Sugwekar, who comes from UK, and I was in Hague earlier, and we have gone along a long way now, and I think we are going to go a long way. And I am ready to learn. So point is, opportunities, ask, and it is given. That is something which Vinda says, ask and it is given. Without asking, nobody is going to come and give it to you. And believe me, it has happened to me any number of times. You have to ask, can you help me? Is there a point where I want to learn this? Will you help me? Please don't carry your ego when you're saying something like this, because that ego is going to stop the learning process. And there is a journey to the learning, there is a transformational journey, there is a self-learning, there is a self-reinvention, which is to be considered in each and every phase of your life. So please go through this entire process, take it with your stride, take it with your pulse. Everyone's pulse rate is different. It may vary from 2 or 3 to 10. So get your pulse, understand your pulse, and only go with that rate. Do not rush, because someone else has done so many things and you are still there at the same age. That person has gone somewhere there and I am still here. There is nothing of that sort, because you can be somewhere else where that person would have not dreamt of. So stop comparing yourself with others, because you are what you are. You have your unique areas where you are going to perform. Each and every person has a unique fingerprint. Your fingerprints cannot be the same across the world. So doesn't that tell you something, that nature has brought you up as a unique person, and you need to respect that? Because your uniqueness is something which will help you to come out in a different light. There can be lights, there can be so many opportunities like WEF, which we have, and in your individual areas of work. And what is it that you're gaining in all of this? You meet a few people, you see few faces, you carry your visiting cards, you share your cards, you tell them that you have this, this, this. How many of you are following up later on? Is the point. These are opportunities. We are meeting our soul sisters, we are meeting so many different people in different cross sections of the society. Are we really doing something different? Are we reinventing ourselves? And where is your soul lying in this whole area? And what is healing? Healing is just accepting yourself, allowing yourself to accept what you are. Just being, There is a sentence, there is how we address ourselves. We say that we are human beings. Any animals, amphibians, reptiles, we do not call them as other than that. What we say is, we are human beings because we are grounded, we are the beings here. And we have something more than all the other animals in the world. So I feel that we need to respect our own self. We need to respect why we are here. Every person will find their own life path. Every person will find their own life purpose. But the point is, you need to be on the walk. You need to be on that journey. You need to be on that path. And that path is, you are the guide. You are the mentor. You are the coach. For you to actually get up and say, yes, I want to walk that path. And the moment you accept yourself that you have to walk this path, there will be people from the society, from the entire world, who will call themselves as their coach, as your mentor, your guide, your counselors, and will come out, reach out, and help you. So believe that there are people outside who are ready to help you if you want to be helped. That is more important, rather than carrying your ego on the shoulder and saying, I know it all. Because believe me, I started with that journey saying, I know it all, and then I came to a point where I said, I don't know anything, I want to know more. And that is where my soul lies, and that is where my healing started, and it is a journey till I leave this plane of earth. Thank you so much. Yes, later on please, after the... Yeah.
Pooja. Yeah, sure.
Hi, everyone. Hope you all had a nice lunch. Yes. Okay, I'm Pooja. I'll speak a little bit about my journey. I'm 50 years old today. Not today. What I mean is my life's journey. If you put, thank you. Yes. If you put
every day can be a birthday.
Excuse me.
Because it is a celebration day.
Yes. Every day is a birthday, actually. Okay, but if you put a timeline, right, which everybody does because we are living on Earth, and I just attended a talk in the morning on stem cells, so more so with that, I guess I'm influenced. If I were to talk about my journey, so 20 plus years ago, I started on a spiritual path. That doesn't mean I wasn't spiritually inclined, but I started taking formal spiritual courses. And I believe we gravitate towards spirituality or religion primarily when there is an aberration in our lives, right? There is a block. Some things are not moving right. And it's almost like, there's an infestation in your home of cockroaches or rats, Are you going to sit quiet about it, or are you going to do something about it? I think most of us would call it pest control and get rid of them, right? So that's the time, I guess, man also gravitates towards something which would give them solace or peace or bliss. At the end of the day, all of us are looking for a state of joy. Is that true?
Yeah.
Sure. I think everybody. If you young ones are wanting to go to a super college, because it will give you joy. If somebody is looking for a life partner, it is because it would give him or her joy. So at the end of the day, all of us are looking actually for joy, right? So to speak a little about myself, so I started with Buddhist chanting, I went on to art of living, Reiki 3B, pranic healing, just about everything which came my way. EFT, past life regression, tarot, angel healing, cell regeneration, and so on and so forth. I am very grateful. I honor all the modalities I went through. My theta healing journey started 7 years ago. Okay? At that time, doctors had asked me to get a second spinal surgery. I had a spinal surgery about 16 years ago. I had a fall. I slipped a flight of steps on the small of my back, and things got out of control. At that point in time, I had a host of physical and emotional issues. To name a few, I'd had a ear surgery. I had hypothyroid, asthma, sinus, grade 5 allergies, gynec issues, depression. I was very, very fearful and phobic. I had inexplicable aches and pains for over 20 years of my life. Maybe I've forgotten a couple of things. But nevertheless, to give you a broad picture, I wasn't in a good place. And I was practicing, I was doing everything that I had learned to get myself out of this mess. Now, when I came to do theta healing on the second day of class, 80% of my back pain was gone. But the mind did not register that transformation, did not register the fact that 80% of my pain was no longer there. Right, so theta healing has 3 days of basic class and 3 days of advanced class and 2 days of manifesting abundance, which is actually the first module of theta healing. They somehow shifted the next 2 classes to the next weekend, and I was traveling to New York to be with my daughter, who was going to move into an apartment, so I couldn't postpone that. Now, when you have children studying overseas, you travel economy, you travel non-stop. And prior to coming to class, I couldn't sit, I couldn't stand, I couldn't walk, I couldn't lie down. Any change in position was excruciatingly painful. 2 of the toes on my right foot had gone numb, completely. Now, I'm not telling you this story to evoke sympathy, right? I'm just telling you how my journey changed for me. So I land up in New York. I've forgotten my phone on charging in Delhi, and my daughter has decided to come and pick me up at JFK. She obviously cannot contact me, but a voice tells me that I need to call her up. And I borrow a local Indian's phone. They're kind enough to give it to me. I make a call, and she's hopping mad. She says, "Mom, we've taken 2 rounds of JFK. Where the hell is your phone?" I say, "Okay, well, I'm here. Don't pick up any bags. Don't do anything." I said, "No, I've got my bags. I'm standing near this pillar. So, okay, don't move." Because my children had just seen me live in pain for close to 15, 18 years. And so she's walking towards me, and her mouth just falls open, and her tears well up with ice. And she says, "What have you done?" No hi. "I'm so glad you're here." Nothing. I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "You are walking straight. I used to walk like this, at an incline. I had so much pain that I had a swelling like a third hip, and I had just been talking to God for over a year and saying, no surgery this time and no painkiller this time." So I said, "Yeah, I never realized squeezed it, but I'm actually walking straight. So that was the beginning of my theta healing journey. It helped me to heal every ailment, disease, illness, whatever I've spoken to you about, right? And I guess when my teacher, the founder of Theta Healing, told me that I need to teach, I have to share my story, I have to tell people how it works, that's the time I started teaching. Now to tell you that, what do you think is, or what I think is the soul of healing? The soul of healing is really your own truth. Your truth will be very different from her truth. There are no yardsticks here. It's not like you have a headache and everybody gets to take a Tylenol, right? So theta healing actually satisfies that principle of healing. I always say it's custom made. I got what I require. That is my truth. What is anybody's truth? Why will you believe in something? You will believe in something when it works for you. Isn't that true? Yes? And when you share your truth with other people, not only are you inspiring them, okay, same to same, but you're also giving them a tool or an implement to change their own lives. Their problems or their issues may be very different from what yours are. But it doesn't mean that they don't require healing. Nothing is big or small. Right? For a child, being bullied in KG is a big deal. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Yes? And a woman, 35-year-old woman going through an abusive marriage is the biggest deal for her. Right? So there is no, should I say, big or small. There is no little or more, or there is no right or wrong. Right? Whatever your truth, yes, your soul is going to lie in that. Right? Wherever your soul heals, are you aware that you can do healings for your soul as well? Not just your mind and your body. Everything requires healing. Why? What is your soul? Are you souls or are you bodies? You're a soul with a body. You're not a body with a soul. Okay, you're a soul with a body, a soul which has traveled many lifetimes, which has acquired many experiences, many talents, many abilities, which are lying hidden within you. You know, it's like an unopened Pandora's box. If you don't open the box, you don't know what is there in it. And I have seen many people spend lifetimes, okay, just going through their life, not opening that box. So for me, I actually opened my box 7 years ago. I actually started living my life 7 years ago. I got rid of the fears, the phobias. I tapped into talents and abilities, which I never knew existed. I never thought I could speak to people in a room like this. I was so fearful, so full of judgment, so lacking in self-worth, so not believing in myself. Right? So it did all that and much more. Right? My physical healing took place, emotional and psychological healing took place. I started growing and evolving spiritually. Every day there was new information coming to me, new ways of leading my life, learning how to acquire different virtues. Why is it important to acquire different virtues? Has anybody ever thought of it? Our Indian scriptures talk about it all the time, don't they? If we know anything about them. Service, kindness, truth, compassion, honesty, and so on and so forth. What are we coming here to do? Why do we take birth again and again? Why? This is a learning ground. We're just coming here to learn different lessons. What are the lessons? All these virtues, tolerance, patience, self-respect, self-worth, we can go on. But these are all virtues that we come here to learn. If we don't learn a particular lesson, we don't learn a particular virtue, the lesson comes back again and again, like a retest we get in a class. If we don't clear the examinations for class 2, we are not going to class 3. I think we all know that, right? So, when we learn a virtue, we actually graduate to the next rung of the ladder. What does that mean? That means we are closer to ascension. At the end of the day, every soul's desire is to evolve, to ascend. This is not our home. We begin to believe that this is our home. No. We've come here to interact. We've come here to dissolve and resolve karma with people in our inner core group, and we've come to ascend. So at the end of the day, what will help you to ascend? Your truth. Not her truth for her or her truth for somebody else. You will learn to tap into your own truth, and you need to do that. That is where and how you will heal and ascend.
What do you mean by your truth when you say your truth?
Your truth is, you love somebody. He's your truth. You love that guy. Somebody else in the room, in the audience, doesn't need to necessarily be as much in love with him as you do. Right? If you're a teacher, you love teaching. That's your truth. It doesn't need to be the same truth as somebody else. Okay? We are living in a world, we just tend to, kind of clump everything together. Yes, we are connected, we are one, yet we are very different at a very basic microcosmic level. Right? So it is really, your healing, it really depends upon finding your own truth. Thank you.
It's amazing how similar our stories are. I'm Dr.Julianne Robertson, and I'm very grateful and very happy to be here today. I want to start off by saying a very basic truth. We are all created to live and work in bliss. We are created to live at the very highest possibilities of our human potential. And that being said, I want to take us through a little meditation. Could I have everybody just take a deep breath and close your eyes for a moment. Take one more deep breath. And visualize yourself at peace in a place that is full of joy, laughter, birds chirping, the air is fresh, and you feel calm and safe. And as you see yourself in this place, you feel an overwhelming sense of peace and belongingness. You see a light descend from the sky, gleaming, brilliant, sparkling white light. And this light comes down into your energy field just above your head. And as the light descends further into that space where your thoughts and your emotions and your concept about yourself, and the light light is communicating the will of all there is. The truth about you. Why you were born. What you were born to accomplish. You don't have to worry about how. You don't have to worry about when. But this idea of the Most High about who you are gives you all you need to know. You can accomplish any and all things because you are the very perfect incarnation of your soul. All that you need is provided. All of the opportunities, all of the relationships, all of the resources are at your disposal. And in this space of connectedness, anything that you seek is also seeking you. And so the place within your energy field, that electromagnetic field around you, is brimming with abundance. All of your needs are met, and you are prosperous, perfect, whole, and complete. The work that you're born to do unfolds in perfect order, and you allow this truth to open before you. And as you allow this truth to unfold, you realize that all of your fears melt away. They dissipate as if they were never really there. And you are prepared in this moment to grow into the professional, to grow into the minister that you were born to be. And so you touch the lives of others, spreading peace, truth, compassion, and universal unconditional love to everyone around you. And you find yourself smiling because you understand that everything that you were born to do is a reality in this moment and in the past, present, and future. And so we set the intention at this moment that any disease or affliction melts away, because it cannot exist in a space where your light and your love is connected to the universe. You are an open vessel of the love of all there is. And you are overflowing with that light and that love. The jobs that you seek are seeking you, irrespective of credentials or training. Your life mission, your life purpose is set by the life contract that you agreed to before you were born. And so we're open to every possibility. And so it is. So take another deep breath. Slowly come back to the room. So I wanted to just say a little bit about the journey that I've taken to this point. I am a lawyer. I've been a lawyer since 1992, been on dozens and dozens of corporate cases. And more recently, in between becoming a lawyer and right now I have 4 children, had a 25-year marriage. And at this moment, I'm standing before you as a PhD in ministry. And the healing journey that I've been on, catastrophic pregnancies, hip replacement, knee ligament snap, diabetes, depression, you name it, I've had an experience with it. And through that journey, and it's been a bumpy journey, the perception of myself as perfect in alignment with the universe has brought me back to a place where I visualize myself as healed, and it happens. And I believe that everybody has the power to conceive of themselves as whole, perfect, and complete. And the universe begins to align everything around you so that what you see, what you visualize, especially if you're able to maintain a very precise visualization. And so, as an example, a few years ago, a friend of mine and I did a dream walk, if you will, where we decided that we would take our lives from the mundane to the extraordinary. And one of the visualizations included a picture of the Pullman Hotel here in New Delhi. I get the chills because at that moment, I was absolutely in victim mode. I'd had an abusive upbringing, and I'd somehow recreated the upbringing by bringing in an abusive spouse. And my idea of myself was that I couldn't do anything right, and even though I was a lawyer, and you may have all of these attributes, in the space within my marriage and my husband, I was an utter failure. And of course that wasn't true, but I had to take the journey of self-realization. And so the meditation that we just did, a friend who was a mentor did that for us. And I saw myself in an airplane, in a private jet, with my assistant telling her how we were going to unfold a development project. That part of the visualization has yet to unfold, but here I am at the Pullman Hotel in beautiful New Delhi. And so I just want to say that anything that you choose to believe about who you are at your very, very highest level of productivity, it will come true. And that's all I have for you today.
Open the floor for questions now for anyone on the board.
I would like to ask you, how do you visualize? You said it should be focused, right?
Yes.
So, like you said, you wanted to be in New Delhi, Pullman.
Yes.
So can't we focus it as in a big organization and heading the stage? Isn't the right approach? Do we have to name the place or,
I believe that the more specific you make the visualization, the more details that you can include in what you're thinking of, including the smell, the energy, the feeling, the people, the colors. More specifically, what is it that you want to experience within that idea? So if you choose to be and I didn't really understand myself as minister, motivational speaker at that point. I wanted to, my thing when I was born, I just want to help people. I just want to help people. That's what I used to say. That was my mantra. And so whatever form that happened to take, whatever the circumstances or the environment, any place that I can be where I can touch someone's lives and make the heart connection I think for me, that was the core of the visualization.
Thank you.
Anyone else? You had some question for Shruti?
I had one question.
Should I give you the mic? So fine? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you want to talk about spiritual narrative impact on health and reinventing yourself,
Yeah.
is it only for self, or you can heal somebody else also?
I'm into the practice of healing others.
Yes.
I am a hypnotherapist. I'm an NLP master practitioner. So basically, to heal others, you need to clean up yourself first. So that is where the reinventing and the healing will start from you.
I agree with you. But
Yeah.
what I want to ask is, like, if anybody needs help,
Yeah.
how do you reach out to them? Like, person has to come to you, or you go to them, or how is it done?
Yes, for the modality that I use, the person has to come to me. Yeah, because Reiki and other modalities, the person need not be physically there. You can do it remotely also. The healing can be done. But for the modalities that I use, I need the person there in the place. I can also do Skype work also.
So the healing can be done through Skype as well?
Yes, I can do that, yeah.
And does it apply for you as well?
Okay, so I'll just expand on that. I'm
And
teaching.
I wanted to know a little bit more on theta healing, because what it is, it's Greek and Latin to me.
Okay, I will talk about theta healing then. Just to answer your question, so theta healing is a little different. Like I told you, I've practiced several modalities. How we heal in theta healing, we say that Creator or God is the healer, right? And I'm just witnessing a healing, right? So when God is the healer, we are directing or visualizing the healing energy directly from God to the client. So when we do that, I'm not using my energy. So to answer your question, when you do the basic and the advanced level, you can be healing yourself and you can start healing other people as well. Because we are all works in progress. The day we are completely healed, we will either be the Dalai Lama or we will not be on this plane of consciousness. Okay, so we are all works in progress. And when you heal somebody else using the theta healing technique, you are also healing yourself. Okay, so it's a two-way street, and the beauty of it is that you're constantly energized. Okay, and again, you can do healings anywhere in any part of the world, through Skype, Facebook chat, FaceTime, WhatsApp, anything. You don't need to know the person, you just need to have the name. I witnessed several healings wherein till today I've never met those people. Okay, but they've healed. So to talk about theta healing,
How long does it take?
a healing session?
Yeah.
You mean one healing session?
Like, in general?
So, we are trained to do a healing session in half an hour.
Okay.
But
Okay.
the healing might be
It's-
varying from what is the thing is.
Healing process, entire procedure might vary from person to
Yeah.
person.
I've done thousands of healing sessions. No two sessions are ever the same. Why? I'm not the healer. Okay? So when we connect and we bring in the energies, right? God keeps guiding you what you need to do. How do you know about a stranger? I mean, literally the entire life of the stranger is opened up in front of you. What the person requires, where the healing is required. A person may come with a very different issue. He may come with a money problem. He may come with a very different issue, but actually when you go to the root of the issue, because we go down to the root of the issue, that root may be coming from your childhood, it may be coming from past lives. It may be coming from your ancestors, it may be coming from your genetic line, it may be coming from collective consciousness experiences that you had. Collective consciousness experiences are experiences like world wars, famines, plague, where a whole lot of humanity is clubbed together. Right? So your cells talk to the cell of the other person who's also experiencing the same circumstance. So you are bringing in emotions and feelings of those people as well. Now, how intense is that? And that is all embedded at your DNA level, in your subconscious mind. And actually, your subconscious mind is what is governing your life, which is 88% of your mind. Only 12% of your mind is your conscious mind, which you use for a daily basis. You know, what am I going to eat? What am I going to wear? Where am I going? Who am I meeting? But your life is actually governed by all these beliefs which are there in your subconscious mind. So, to club both the topics together, in Theta Healing we teach you how to remove these beliefs which are blocks, which are impediments in your growth, which are preventing you from moving forward. I shared a little bit of my story with you. I told you how many blocks I had. All those emotional, physical diseases I had were blocks. As I started releasing them, so many different doors and avenues opened up for me. I never knew talents I had, which existed. So it's important for you to release all these memories, to release all these blocks, and Theta Healing helps you to do it. So if I were to define Theta Healing, it's a meditational process which co-creates. We are creating with God or the Creator. Physical, psychological, mental, spiritual healings with a focused prayer to the Creator. We teach you how to connect to that energy which is there within all of us. We don't have to go looking for God in temples and churches and gurudwaras and mosques. Okay, that energy, that power lies within everybody, each one of us. We're just teaching you how to tap into that energy. There's a guided meditation which instantly takes everybody into a theta state. When you're in a theta state constantly, your chakras are going to be aligned, your psychic senses are going to be honed, you are going to be connected to the Creator. You're constantly going to keep getting messages. What to do, what not to do, where to go, how to go, from the basics to the biggest. I can go on talking. There's so much to talk about Theta here. So if you have questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Basically, healing is something which comes from within and it is connected to the Creator. That's it. I mean, period. So you use whichever modality. Something like we have allopathy, we have Ayurveda, we have homeopath. You know, these are various, medical areas where we can heal ourselves, we cure ourselves. So similarly, these are various modalities. So whatever is your calling, this is something which, and I feel when I hear Pooja speaking right now, Theta Healing has been round the corner for me for a long, long, long time. There have been people who have been telling, haven't you done Theta Healing yet? You have done hypnotherapy, because I've done my 5 levels of hypnotherapy, I've done my 6 levels of TASO, which is regression therapy, which goes with when the soul has come on this physical plane. So the journey from there across lifetimes till today. So I've done that, been there for the last 10 years, I enjoy. And so I think this is another calling. I think she is signaling me that...
One last question. So,
I understand for whom?
For all of you.
Okay.
Whoever would like to answer it.
Okay.
So, the question is that, you're talking of visualizing, right? And I really believe in the power of being able to visualize. However, what if you can't visualize? What if you don't know what's the right thing to visualize?
And you begin to open your mind to listen and receive the guidance. I believe that we are born in perfection. There may be cause and effect coming from past existence. There is certainly generational and even microcellular cause and effect that may operate in one individual's life. But in your life that you're living at this moment, you have the power to see yourself as whole, perfect, and complete. and allowing all diseases and afflictions to fall away because you've allowed the light of all there is. And when I say all there is, we look at the Mahabharata, the Vedas, the Upanishads as part of the continuous tradition of faith throughout time. And so all of the individuals who have come as way showers, Gautama, Yeshua, Moses, these are individuals who come to teach us that we can align with the perfection of God. And so restoring, I believe in restoration of anything that isn't God's light, it must fall away. I was just telling my friend that this time last year, I had snapped a ligament in my knee and I was desperate because I was in every step was just torture. But with the love that was lavished on me by people around me, I was able to see myself walking without pain, and it happened. Now, I am surprised and overjoyed when it works, but it always works.
Okay, I'll expand on that, yeah? Because theta healing is very scientific.
Can we have the question also? It may not be something different.
No, so answering her question.
Okay.
So when you talk about visualization, okay? Visualization has to do with 6 psychic abilities, right? I'll mention 3 or 4 of them to you. You've heard of clairaudience, okay, which is a hearing, okay? People hear, right? There is a clairvoyance, which comes from your third eye chakra, which is a seeing, right? Then you have an empathic sense, which comes from your solar plexus chakra, which is that gut feeling. You enter a room, you feel people don't like you, right? Or you can pick up people's negative thoughts about you, they're just thoughts. So that's, which is most common for most people, is the empathic sense. The 4th that I'll talk about is prophecy, right? Which you develop at your crown chakra, right? Now, these are psychic skills. They are present in all of us. Again, some of us haven't opened the box. She probably already can visualize as a seeing. So what is your visualization skill? Is it a seeing? Is it a knowing? Is it a feeling? Is it a hearing? There's no question that you cannot visualize. What happens when you're going to a party? You decide in your mind what clothes you're going to wear, what makeup you're going to put. What are you doing? You're visualizing. Okay, so visualizing, it does not literally equate with seeing. It can be seeing, hearing, knowing, feeling. These are all your psychic skills. Okay, and these get honed, or they get opened in theta.
And what do you call dreams?
Dreams are actually a part of astral travel, very deep meditative state when you're in a delta state. You know, there are different dreams, different brain waves, alpha, beta, theta, delta, gamma. Delta is when you're in a very, very deep sleep state. Okay, you dream, your soul is traveling to learn different lessons, maybe go on to a higher level of learning. When you recall those dreams, okay, there's symbology in those dreams. There's a message for you.
But are they true? Like, should or can one believe in them?
Why not? Start interpreting your dreams. Keep a journal next to your bedside. When you get up in the morning, write down your dream. You'll see a pattern.
Dream therapy.
Yes, your soul would be trying to give you messages.
Okay.
So don't discount it.
I've always been discounting it.
No, don't. Please keep a journal right next to your bedside and write in it.
Do you have a dream that keeps coming up?
Yes, I do have at times. मतलब सपना ही तो है ठीक है क्या करें रात की बात करी
It's totally a different topic. A dream therapy is something which is completely, it's something which needs to be analyzed and which needs to be taken into cognizance.
Can I share one dream?
Yes, please.
If we have time,
We have also having a question. Let me finish.
That's very short, and I don't expect a long answer.
Sure.
So you're talking of
Can
feeling,
we have
knowing.
a question from her also?
Sure.
Because she's waiting for long
Sure.
and we'll have to close the session.
Sure,
after
I'll take it out with
yeah,
you.
it's too
much. You are the
The next
speaker
speaker is
now.
now.
No
Okay.
outside. Yes, please.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Julian, my question is actually to you.
Quick answer, Julian.
I loved, and there was an immediate connect when you said, what you seek is seeking you.
Yes.
I mean, that's something that Jalaluddin Rumi said.
Yes.
And that is, whenever it comes, what's your favorite quote? It comes out of my finger without my mind working even. Like the two of them, I have also myself gone through, like the three of you, I would say, a lot of physical, a lot of mental illnesses, and then I tried, art of living to this, to that, to that. And finally then, when I found my calling, I actually went into 10 days of silent meditation, twice all over, so that is actually a practice. Vipassana, yes. So that's like, they don't check, they actually do it out of service, so they don't really even ask for, so that is a different kind of, so my question to you is, one, there is this feeling of trust and abundance of the universe, where you submit yourself, you surrender, and you believe that, things will happen in its own time. That is perhaps, if I can use one word for it, it is effortless. Whereas on the other hand, I see, as the three of you are speaking, and of course we have very real objective problems, and there is always, there have been many sessions today I have attended where we spoke about, healing, etc., where you actually go out and list, what is your goal, what are you doing towards it. So every day, every night, are you timing yourself? Visualization. So obviously, these are efforts. These are not effortless. So my question is perhaps a little philosophical, but how do you really, tie the two of them together?
I allow myself to be open. The connection and everyone's heart is an electromagnetic machine. That if you are able to release fear and doubt and rage, all of those things that hold us back and create barriers, if you open that space and make a consistent connection with everyone around you, if even to the point where you share as much love and compassion with everyone that you meet, then everyone that you meet is also bringing something to you. And so the more you touch people, then they can also go out empowered by what you've shared with them. And they can go and love on other people as well. And it spreads exponentially. I believe that's the call on my life. And as more people open, especially as women and mothers, share that kind of compassion with our children, then we all have that effortless connection.
Most spiritual experience, I guess, is parenting. I have reached my own conclusion on that. But still, how much of it is effort, how much is effortless? I really wanted to, because frankly, I do not know if to keep a journal or if to just open myself and relax and it will not happen in time.
And I'll interrupt here, and can you have it outside the thing, because it's a personal one which you are extending. Okay, that is what and thanks to all the speakers. It was a wonderful session.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are here for a very, very interesting session on past life regression, a science that heals. We have Chayanika Bhiwaniwala, who is a past life regressionist, and we have Vandana, who is an experiencer of the regression therapy. So we'll start with Chayanika.
Thank you so much. I think there were more people interested. They said, "You're coming, we are coming." Shall we wait or shall we start?
Let's start.
Okay. So, I hope you all had a good lunch. And if the lunch was heavy, so is the subject also heavy. Past life regression therapy is a very intriguing subject, and it actually interests a lot of people all over the world. It's internationally acclaimed and research based. As she mentioned, I'm a regression therapist, and I'm very lucky to have Vandana, who is a living proof of having the experience of past life, so she can actually vouch. I would not have to do that much. She can actually vouch about her experience. Before I begin with the topic, I would just like all of you all to close your eyes for a very short meditation. This is a grounding meditation. Please close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, take a very deep breath, inhaling all the positive energies, healing energies, loving energies of this universe, and exhaling any stress, any tension that you have within you. Just inhale and exhale very deeply for a few more times. You're all listening to my voice, and as you listen to my voice, allow yourself to go a little more deeper within you. Become aware of your feelings, of your body, of your thoughts. And as you become aware, imagine that there is a very beautiful, healing, cosmic light above your head. Allow this beautiful, healing, loving, universal, cosmic light to flow through your head, your eyes, your nose, your lips, your ears, and all other features on your face. And very gradually allow it to descend like a wave through your neck, your chest, your arms, your torso, your stomach, your thighs, calf muscles, through your toes, into Mother Earth. And as this beautiful energy passes into Mother Earth, where there is a lot of love, unconditional love for all of us, draw this earth energy from Mother Earth through your toes, your calf muscles, your knees, thighs, torso, arms, neck, all the features of the face, and through your head back to the cosmos. As you do this, allow the cosmic energy and the earth energy to mix into your very being, your bones, muscles, tissues, fibers, and cells. And as you mix this energy, become aware that the earth energy grounds you and the cosmic energy helps you to manifest your desires. And whenever you're ready, take a little time, very gently, open your eyes and stretch your arms. So how was it? Did anybody feel anything? Okay, thank you so much. So, what is past life regression? Or PLR as it is shortly called. I'll be using the term PLR because past life regression becomes a very big word. So what is past life regression? Yes?
I don't know much about it, but what I have read through books of Brian Lee, it's like we are souls, and many bodies but one soul, and we have lived many lives, and we regress. It's a therapy where you can regress yourself back into past lives and know what a lot of troubles or a lot of happiness what you are getting here may be related to your past.
These are the imprints you're carrying from other lifetimes.
Quite true, quite right. Absolutely. So, when the cause of illness is in the present, what do? We may be taking medicine. We may be taking medicine or physiotherapy or maybe a simple advice or change of conditions. But when the reason of illness is in the past, that is the time when past life regression becomes necessary for us. To give you a simple example, if there's a problem in your eye, who are you going to go to? Eye specialist. If there's a problem in your back or bones, you're going to go to an orthopedic. If you have a heart problem, you go to a cardiologist. But what do you do with problems when there seems to be no resolution? What do you do about them? So this is where past life regression comes. I cannot say past life regression is the panacea for all problems in life, yet as a last resort, people, they have found resolution when they have had dysfunctional relationships. They have freed themselves from addictions, and they've also freed themselves from intense fears like height or water or fire, also chronic illness, pains, depression, obsession. A lot of things have been cured by past life, and it is internationally acclaimed, and there is a lot of research is still going on. I could say past life regression is a therapeutic model, and it is based on a simple philosophy, as Arpita mentioned just now. It is based on a simple philosophy that we are all eternal beings having human experiences, isn't it? We are all eternal beings and we all have human experiences, and yet a lot of times we carry trauma and experiences from the past still into the present, right? So when I talk about past life regression, it is also important to mention about the 3 attributes that we all have as human beings. What are those 3 attributes? Mind, body, and soul, right? Now, body is what you see. Soul is the vital living force or energy that is important for our existence. And what is mind? Can anybody tell me what is mind? Mind is a ball of energy which is all around us, and the pit of the stomach is the central point of mind, right? And when I talk about mind, it is also important to mention about conscious mind and subconscious mind. Conscious mind is that part of mind which is small, logical, which decides for us, thinks and analyzes, and subconscious mind is that part of the mind which is all the time recording and storing our past experiences and our past belief systems and patterns of life. It is like a tape recorder. It never stops. So a conscious mind, maybe conscious mind may not acknowledge the painful experiences, but when it comes to subconscious mind, it never shuts up. It is always recording. So we can say past life regression is actually a journey into the subconscious. It is a journey into the subconscious where, relating to your issue, you are going back to those incidents or painful experiences of your life which you have lived in past life and recalling them. In other words, I could say past life actually entails reliving the experiences till a catharsis happens and healing can take place, right? Now, past life regression is also very beneficial for issues which are pain related. So if there is pain in your body, what happens? How can it be cured, and why is it cured by past life regression? Can anybody tell me? Or what is the connection of a pain, a physical pain, to past life?
Because it can, because like I'm just telling you a little example because I made a film on past life.
Okay, oh, that's very interesting.
There was this very interesting case in the film. He used to have throbbing headaches every morning, and he used to dream that his hair is getting tied down to the bed and he's unable to get up from the bed. So he went for the past life regression, and it was discovered that he was the woman in his last birth, and his current wife was the husband in the last birth, and he used to torture her, and she used to tie, and she had beautiful long hair, and he used to tie up on the bed, and he used to feel exactly
Beautiful.
the same.
Very nice. So past life is connected to painful experiences, and this pain actually gets embedded in the body in the form of emotions. And
Yes, please. Can I ask you a question?
we'll take questions later. Is that okay? Because we are limited on time. We'll take all the questions later on. If it is a question, if it is relevant to what I'm speaking now, please say.
Just wanted to know, how do you know the difference between the trauma from the if it's a trauma from
We'll take it later. Let me just complete with the topic, and then I'll take the questions. Maybe you might get answered in the in the session itself. So as I was saying, any kind of pain, it could be a traumatic experience in a past life, and it gets embedded in the body in the form of cellular memories and in the form of emotions. The emotions get locked in the body, right? And again, we do not say that this is a substitute for medicine or medical treatment. We never say past life regression therapy is a substitute for medical treatment, but we only say that it is a complementary therapy, and when you use it along with medical treatment, it can actually improve your progress. It can make the progress more effective. Okay? And again, from medical point of view, and also a lot of doctors believe in it, there is a very profound connection between mind and body. So whatever the mind thinks or feels, it is seen that it impacts the body, and it can be seen in a lot of diseases like IBS or migraine. And to give a very common example, it's a very interesting example, which is why I would like to mention it to you. So say you get some thought in your mind, or you hear some very good news, and the news is that maybe your son is coming home after a very long time. So when you get that thought, when you hear that, it is happening in your mind. And when you are happy, what happens to your emotions? You become happy when you are hearing this good news. You become happy. So the emotion is happy. When the emotion is happy, what happens to your energy? There's a surge of energy in your body. And when you feel energetic, you feel like doing so many things, cleaning the house, cooking food for him and all that. So when there is energy in your body, what happens to your body? So maybe it is quite possible you had a headache or you were sick, but that point of time at least you feel very healthy, right? And conversely, if you hear something negative, or you say there is a heartbreak or a breakup that has happened, so it is something which upsets you. You feel sad about it. The emotion is sadness. When the emotion is sadness, what happens to the energy? The energy gets drained, sapped away from your body. And when the energy gets drained, what happens to the body? So even if your body is very healthy, at least that point of time, you feel sick. Maybe you have a headache or you have a stomach ache. You don't feel good about it, right? So this is how quickly a mind affects the body. Now there is a psychological content whenever there is a physical issue. Most of the doctors, they believe that there is a psychological content when you have some physical problem in your body. Conversely, if there is a psychological issue in current life, it is seen if regressed to a past life, it is seen that maybe there had been a physical injury, which is why the result was a psychological issue in the present life. To give you an example, see, there is intense fear of height. And what happens when there is intense fear of height? If a person is regressed, most commonly it is seen that the reason of death was perhaps the person fell off a cliff or some height place, somewhere where there was height. And that was the cause of death, which is why there is so much fear. If there is a lot of fear for deep waters, it is seen person is regressed. There was a drowning experience in the past life, right? So this is how the mind and body is so much connected. Now, this reminds me of a very recent case which I had of my client, and usually for confidential issues we do not use names, and here I've sought her permission to share her story, which is I'm sharing her story. She came to me with the problem of restlessness, sleeplessness and anxiety. And she also mentioned to me that she was fearful of deep waters. This came later on in the therapy. But a presenting issue was sleeplessness, anxiety and restlessness. And this became more intense for her after she visited Banaras. Since her childhood, something about Banaras always fascinated her. And it was by chance that she had to go to Banaras because her grandfather has expired and she had to perform the last sacred rites. So she had gone to Banaras. And when she went there again, she started having deja vu feelings and everything started seeming very familiar to her. So when she came back to Kolkata, these images started haunting her. So she came to me for therapy. And when she came for therapy and I regressed her, it was found that in her past life, she was a lady in Banaras. She had stayed in Banaras and spent quite some time over there, and during her stay, what happened to her was she was physically and sexually abused, and somebody had thrown her off the cart into the river Ganges, and she had drowned. So this was haunting her again and again, and one single session I did with her, it was not only her restlessness and sleeplessness resolved, but her fear for water also lessened a lot. So this is what a session can actually do for you. Now a lot of times what happens is we carry our undigested past or unresolved shadows, and we keep on carrying it in us from so many years. We keep on carrying it and we do not know the origin of it. So in regression what happens is the person is actually regressed to a place and time when the original event occurred in the life of that person. So to take another case of mine, the client who came to me was very scared of fire. So much so that he was also, he was not comfortable in lighting a matchstick. And when he came to me and I regressed him, we found out that when he was 2 years old, he had burned himself from crackers. That was the time when maybe the fear set in him about fire. But we checked all kinds of residues, the undigested residues in a session. When I regressed him further, we found that I regressed him into a past life where his house was burned in flames, and there was a loved one trapped inside. So he had been carrying this problematic past as undigested residue from so many years. You see, that is the power of past life. And had he not maybe come for a session, I don't know whether there was any other way where this could have been resolved. Right? So in past life regression, majorly what happens is you recall the incidents and you assimilate all such incidents by reliving them, integrating them, and finally releasing them. And when that happens, you can actually connect the past to the present, and you can understand why the past has been influencing you. You can get a lot of answers of your questions. A lot of emotions which are trapped in your body can be released. And when that happens, the past ceases to haunt you anymore. And you can access the strength from the past into the present and move forward in life with more confidence. Now, past life is not always seen with the purpose of resolving traumatic experiences. Some people also experience past life regression to actually integrate talented lives, positive lifetimes, where they had talent or skill or some kind of art or science. So they actually integrate those parts also in them, and when they do that, they become much more confident in present life, and the life becomes more effective. Right? So what I would conclude by saying, it does not really matter. Sometimes, clients, they come and they just think that, was it my imagination? Was it real? I think it was my imagination. It couldn't have been past life. But still, they are very surprised to see the effectiveness of the result. The issue is resolved. So according to me, I believe it really does not matter whether past life exists or not. It does not matter. What matters is the effectiveness of the session and the peace and the liberation that you feel after the therapy session. Thank you. If you have any questions now. Yes. So I'm very lucky, again I reiterate, I'm very lucky to have her because she has experienced past life and she's going to share her experience. Thank you so much, Vandana.
Thank you, Chadha.
This past life regression is a very interesting topic to speak about. But I think when you have to undergo a regression, everyone has their doubts. Will I be hypnotized? Will I be able to come out of it? Will I get stuck in some other world? That doesn't happen actually. It is bare minimum hypnotism. It is more of meditation and going into yourself. I needed to find out what was my purpose of life. I'm running a school, I'm a successful businesswoman, but there was something just behind in my mind saying I need to know my purpose of life. And because of that, I decided to go in for a session. Why? While going through this session, it was looking for the purpose of life. Suddenly, I went to a place. My memory took me somewhere, and there was this well in which I fall down, and then I'm in the water. And I could see all the green muck on the side inside the well. The water was also dirty, and I'm trying to flounder around, trying to find my way out, but there's nothing. And finally my hands and feet, they become very, very cold. And then I decide to let go. That, okay, fine, I cannot come out of this place. I fall in here, I cannot come out. So I let myself go. So the dying thought that was there was, I have to just give up. There's no way that I'll get saved out of this place. And then gradually, as I'm sinking into the water of the well, I see the silver light come for me and take me away. And then I came out of that session. But that was not what I was looking for. But definitely, curiosity came ahead. I said, no, this is not enough. I need to check out more. Because I would like to share with you all, from my very childhood, I used to get a lot of cough and cold problems. I always was a little unwell, always falling sick. And then after that, at age 16 or maybe it was 17, was when I realized that I'm an acute asthmatic. So, okay, one reason that could be that I drowned in water. So, my lungs got affected, and that lifetime was still incomplete in my mind. Going backwards, about 8 to 10 years back, I was traveling to Europe. And there, at the edge of Black Forest, I reached a small village with my family, where I started sort of crying and telling my sister, Didi, I like this place. Didi is my elder sister. So I told her, I like this place. I feel I've come home. And she said, don't be crazy. You've never been here, so how are you feeling like that? So one major part of past life regression is also that that the moment you feel somewhere that, okay, this is home, there's something there in one of the past lives that is still affecting you. So anyway, we came back, and after a span of 4 years, I went in for another regression session. My curiosity was still there. What was this place that I felt like home? And why Germany? And from my very childhood, I used to love all the German movies and Hitler movies and things like that. I mean, that was the era that I used to love watching. Every time there was an opportunity, that is what I wanted. So anyway, we went through this. I was still not satisfied. Then I decided to do a 2-day session with Dr. Newton Kondavetti and Dr. Lakshmi. They are medical doctors who have been exponents of this in our country. So I went in for a session in Pune. This was a complete 2-day thing from morning to evening for 2 days. And then there's a group of, say, 40 people sitting, and you're told to choose random partners to be with. There was this gentleman, about 55, 60-year-old, and I just asked him, will you be my partner? He says, yeah, sure, please have a seat. So we were partners for that session. There we are made to exchange an object that you have been wearing for 6 months at least, because it carries your vibes. So fine, I gave him my diamond ring, he gave me his watch, holding on to it and meditating. So initial meditation, yes. I saw the house he lived in. He was able to visualize the house that I love in this current life. And gradually then we went off into past lives. You're holding the object, you don't know the stranger, you've not even exchanged names. And suddenly I went into a past life and I started crying. I was besides that place in Back Forest. I was there near the lake. I was a 16-year-old girl wearing a beautiful white frock with pink flowers on it and pink ribbons in my hair and my waist, and I'm waiting for my boyfriend, so I'm skipping around that lake waiting for him, very restless that he hasn't still come. And then comes this German soldier in his uniform and hugs me and says, I'm sorry I'm late, kind of a thing. And then the next thing I saw was he takes me to this place somewhere in the mountains where we go, and there he picks up his shoe and gives me one thing, and I'm inside that well. Okay? So when I came out of the session, I started crying and I just told him, why did you betray me? But I loved you so much. Why did you betray me? And the man was zapped. He was absolutely zapped, and he says, I didn't betray you. I didn't do anything to you. I said, no, but you betrayed my trust. That's not fair. And why did you do this to me? But I loved you so much. I kept on repeating that. He got very upset, and then he got up and walked away. And till that evening, he was literally apologizing to me. What they say is to relive that incident is to relieve yourself, but you need to ask for forgiveness. He kept on saying, I'm sorry if I betrayed you. I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. Please forgive me. So I told him, I said, it's not in this lifetime. Whatever happened in the past was past. He said, no, but I'm feeling very guilty. Please forgive me. We had our lunch. We went in for our evening tea. He was still very sad about the whole incident. And he was from Mumbai. I have taken his permission to speak about this incident. 4 years back this had happened, and I called him up on the Sunday before coming here, and I called up and spoke to his wife. I said, is it all right if I talk about this incident? Do you mind? She says, no, not at all. And in fact, you speak to Mihir himself. He is a diamond merchant in Mumbai. So call him up tomorrow is Sunday. He'll be there. I'm giving you his mobile number. So fine. I called him up the next day. I said, Mihir, do I have your permission to speak about it? He says, yeah, sure. I said, what about you? You told me certain things, can I also recount those things? So he says, yeah, sure, do that. So what had happened was, that night he was very upset because he felt that I was blaming him, and he was feeling very guilty, so he meditated. And he kept on meditating, and while he was meditating, he saw that yes, he was that German soldier, and he did betray my trust, and that realization of betrayal of my trust came to him when he's in the battlefield and there's a bullet that hits him here, And his dying thought is, why did I do this to her? She loved me. Okay? And that was it. Then he slept. Next morning when we met for the session, he first raised his hand and said, I want to talk first. Before we start with anything, we wanted to talk to the audience, tell everyone that this thing has gone through. So he told us about it, and he said, I would also like to share that from the last so many years from my childhood, I used to get this pain here in my temple. It used to be so bad that they would admit me to the Breach Candy Hospital for days together and no medicine would work in Mumbai. Nothing used to work till it would subside on its own. So this thing was a repeated thing that was happening every 3-4 months, 5 months to him. And there was no solution to it, and that's how he went into a regression session. And he decided, okay, the doctor suggested, he says, that try this because medication is not working for you. So that is how we met. And they usually say that you meet people when you have the need for them to go through something. Those people will come around you. The universe will provide that solution to you if you are ready to look for the solution. And I was ready to look for a solution, and so was he. I wanted to know, why do I get such violent asthmatic attacks? I was just after that part of it, that why do I suffer so much from age 16? Why am I going through it? I never did anything that needed to be done, like to fall ill. So that was it. My asthma has got cured, I think 80%. There's still 20% there. Happens occasionally, but I think I need to go in for more sessions. So Chayanika, you're going to help me with that. And Mihir told me that the headache from that day disappeared. I came home, I came back to Allahabad, called up after 2 months. He says, no, I've not had my headache. I called up after 4 years. He says, I've even forgotten that I used to get these blasting headaches that I couldn't control. This is the power of PLR. Without medication. And there's nothing to be scared of. It's a very beautiful treatment, I would say, where, of course, you have to develop your right mind. We all have a right mind and the left mind. The analytical brain and the brain that believes in our consciousness. The intuitive brain is there. We need to develop that. That's all. And these people who help us are fabulous people. They take you through the whole session and you suddenly realize, oh, that was it. It's so simple. It's like a story, it's a movie that we're watching. The emotion that comes out with that is so beautiful that you feel relieved. Okay, fine, this was the cause. I'm okay, I'm much better. There are a lot more stories that could be shared because my children also went through PLR sessions. And my daughter is sitting right here, but I don't think she would like to speak. Would you? No, you don't? Well, Pranati was there that day. That was the day of her graduation from Symbiosis Institute, so she'd gone for her degree, and I'd gone for this session. When we came back at night, my elder daughter and I, we had gone together. So she said, what happened? Tell me about it. So we were talking about it. She said, oh, even I want to do it. Now, there was a CD I had of a regressionist, taking us through the motion like she had taken. I switched it on. She was lying down on the bed, and suddenly we find that her arms are like this, and she's stiff, and she's sobbing away. She'd gone into a trance. And she had reached some place, and I didn't know what to do about it, because, okay, fine, somebody guiding me is okay, but doing it to somebody was very tough, and didn't expect her to actually go into it. And she went through with that. And she was still stuck in that position for half an hour. That CD was over. My elder daughter whispers to me and says, Mama, what do we do now? I said, you take it from there verbally, just do what has been done, and let's see if we can get her back. And gradually she kept on repeating and then brought her back into normalcy. And this girl just cried and cried and cried. And I kept on asking her what happened, and she just couldn't stop sobbing. She says that she was a girl living somewhere in the forest. There was the smell of mutton cooking in the house, some biryani or something was being made. She's a great foodie and she could smell it throughout. And she says, with those things wafting in the air, I'm outside having a great time outside my home, and suddenly somebody comes and takes me away. And then she was locked in a dungeon for years together with her hands like this and her feet also shackled. Now from her very childhood, this girl used to feel cold even in the summers. She wanted a sheet, she wanted another covering, and she would say, my hands and feet get very cold, I don't know what's wrong with me. And that was the incident she saw, where she is shackled for years in a dungeon with her hands and feet up, and she kept on howling throughout, and there was nobody to help her. And suddenly one day, she doesn't know who came across and opened those shackles and said, run for it, I won't be able to save you after this. She's very weak, torn clothes, whatever. And she runs out of that place, keeps on running till she reaches the place where her home was. There is no home over there. There's no mother, there's no home, there's no food cooking, nothing. Things have changed, which showed that it was a long time after she had been imprisoned. So then she sits near a tree, beneath a tree, and she's crying, Mama, where are you? And she dies. And she says from there she saw the silver light and my face there. I was a mama in that lifetime too. I mean, it's fantastic that the people you love are actually people who have been around you in other lifetimes. They come back to you in some form or the other. And that was one beautiful experience she had. Now again, she also got that feeling, I need to go in for more. There's more to learn. So she was in Bangalore working there. We went for another session. 2 days again, a workshop with Dr. Kondaveti, because it's beautiful the way he takes you through. So we went through with it. Towards the end of the workshop, her arm suddenly got stuck like this. And she's crying in pain. Mama, do something. I can't put my arm down. Mama, do something. I kept telling her, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. We are just ending, and they were giving us the final lot of instructions and things and all. I just told her, keep quiet. She said, Mama, it's hurting too much, I can't take it. So I went to one of the PLR people and whispered, can you help? She says, I'll do it after this is over. Fine. We went across. Nothing could be done. Then finally all the goodbyes happened, and I went to Dr. Lakshmi and I told her, I said, Dr. Lakshmi, this is the problem I'm facing. Can you help my child? She said, okay, go and wait in the lobby, I'll just come. So we went and waited in the lobby for her, and this girl is howling away. Her left arm just couldn't move. And from her very childhood, she used to always have ligament breaks in that left arm here only. Always. We used to be scared of touching her left hand. If something will go wrong with her. It always used to happen. So then Dr. Lakshmi took her through a guided meditation again and told her, now you go back to that place where you were, tell me about it. Now she was a tribal girl, lots of, those trinklets around, and she was dancing, and she still loves dancing in this lifetime also. She sings and dances, and that used to happen at 12 at night every night in her childhood, that she would get up and say, okay, watch me dance. So anyway, she's dancing there, and suddenly there's a rider who comes and chops off her left arm. And he goes away. And she's crying in pain. So then Dr. Lakshmi guided her through and said, ask him, why did you do this? So she asked him, you could hear a mumble, why have you cut off my arm? He says, I didn't want to do it, but the tribal chief said he doesn't like you to dance around. So I had my orders to do this to you. So then Dr. Lakshmi said, okay, now you need to forgive him for it. So then she said, I forgive you. Then she said, forgive yourself also, that you broke rules, you didn't listen to the chief, and because of that you suffered. So she went through with that also. And the next minute her arm was down and she was fine. And she's never had trouble with that arm again. It's been good. 4 years, I think. Another 3-4 years. Yeah. But usually she's seen herself in these kind of things, and those problems have been sorted out. My asthma has been sorted out. I still have one more trouble, that is I have varicose veins and a lot of pain in my legs. So my last session was 2 years back in my town when Dr. Kondaveti and his wife came, and I went for the 2-day workshop. I said maybe I could find what is the reason, and kept on praying that this is what I want to know about. I would like to also tell you that relationships which are bad and you don't realize that you meet a person and your dagger's drawn. That was happening for me with a lady I know, close relative. We would look at each other and see red. And I used to wonder, why is that? I don't do anything to her, she doesn't do anything to me, but we just can't stand each other. So I meditated on that. And I found out that in a past life, she was a dove and she had her nest and eggs. And I was an eagle in that lifetime. And I swooped down on her, threw the eggs away, and attacked her. And her dying thought was, your legs are very strong, that's why you can do this to me, you killed my babies. And I hate you for it. And that is the hatred that was in this lifetime. And this trip to Delhi also involves my going to her and apologizing. Because my husband has also become a believer now. He says, I will take you. I said, she'll ridicule, she'll laugh at me. She said, what is this nonsense you're talking about? He said, I will be there. I'll be there with you. I will tell her that yes, she needs to forgive you. So maybe next time you find me, I'll be cured of this last ailment of mine. Right? Thank you.
I'd like to share something.
Sure.
I just want to share a small experience. As I said earlier, I made a film on past life regression, and I was shooting during Dr. Pandavati's workshop, and he took the whole group through past life, and I also went into regression, and I saw that I was receiving messages from an ascended master. I couldn't understand, decipher anything. So I came out and I said, I saw this white human being in white beard, white headgear, and white gown, and he gave me this instruction. So Dr. Newton said, okay, hang on to this. And the next day, there was this one woman who came up to me, and she said, I channel an ascended master. So would you like to shoot? I said, of course. And when she went into a trance and she channeled this ascended master, he spoke exactly the same things what I had seen in my regression.
Oh, wonderful.
Exactly same to same.
Mahima is a filmmaker, please. People, those who don't know her, please stand up and show yourself. Hi. She is a filmmaker. She does all these kinds of topics that other people don't like to touch.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah.
Questions?
Yeah, there.
Okay.
So, I've been going through a lot of, my question is to you. I've been going through a lot of, I have a fear of water, and when I was a child, in this life only, I still remember, I died and I was just stuck there. And I still remember that I could just see the water and I was just numb. My mother thought that I had drowned. And there are some, when kids go to swimming, there are a lot of lifeguards around, and then they jumped and they got me out. That is the day, and today is the day, I don't like to go near any water bottle. While taking bath also, I cannot put water like this. I can't stand under a shower, so one of my friends suggested, take a PLR. Somehow I'm never able to go into that trance. I'm just stuck at the door, and I'm just never able to, So, I just want to know, what do I do? Because I want to do it, but, I'm just not able to get through it.
The time's not right. The right time.
This is called recursion. So say you have a fear for a man, some kind of fear, you are not, you cannot open up in front of a man or something like that. And if your therapist is a man, so there is a recursion. Okay, how will you go for a therapy? I'm just giving an example to you. So a lot of times, and when I was talking about PLR, I also mentioned my case that I did, a person who was very scared of fire. And when I regressed him, he went to a childhood time, he was 2-year-old, he had got burned by crackers. So what actually happens, see, regression therapy is a very broad term. It is not only past life, but it is anything that is past. It entails everything. It entails maybe something which happened 2 hours back. something which happened in a childhood time, something which happened when you were in your mother's womb, maybe life between life or past life. It entails all the undigested residues. You have to check all the undigested residues. So I don't know about you unless and until I actually talk about it more. But what happens is, if there's a childhood trauma, that particular childhood experience, traumatic experience, gets stuck in us. That part of the child with the same thoughts, same problems, same feelings gets stuck in us, and we grow up as a person, but that part of the personality does not grow, which is also called inner child. So these kind of things are addressed in past life, and a lot of other things also addressed. So I don't know particularly about your issue, but if I can maybe somewhere remotely even answer your question.
I have a question.
Yes.
Chayanika.
Yes.
I just wanted to share something that Chayanika helped me out.
Okay.
Please, thank you so much, Vandana.
I had a severe backache. Okay, I had a severe point backache. Used to have. And one day I was just talking with Chayanika, and she said, "Have you tried past life regression or regression therapy?" I said, "No." And I said, "Okay." I said, "Just try. It might go away." So she took me to the not very. I was not liking to go there, but then I decided I have to get rid of my backache, and I went to attend her session, and it was so intense. And actually, she took me to my childhood, and she solved my problem. And I'm thankful to you, Chayanika, that it's not coming back.
Thank you so much for that beautiful experience.
Yeah.
Thank you so
I
much,
would like to share
I'm
one
so
more
glad
incident,
you came here.
One more
and you
incident
shared.
that I would like to share.
Really, thank you so much.
Relationship problems can also be solved. My husband and my elder daughter never got along for years together. So much so that she would say, "I don't want to be near Papa. He brings out the worst in me." And my husband would say, "I don't know why she doesn't listen to me. She has to do everything opposite to what I say." And that thing had gone so big between two of them that they would not hold a conversation at all. She decided to go to another city and study there. She was studying there. And I was, of course, the mother between the two of them, the wife trying to calm down the husband and the mother trying to calm down the elder daughter. And when she went through this regression with me, the day Pranati was not there, she saw that she's somewhere in Scotland. And she's a small boy, 7, 8, 9-year-old boy, with his father rather, and they have a farm where they have a whole lot of cows, and they supply milk to the town below. They're on top of a mountain. They had a whole lot of Jersey cows, and they used to take the milk and deliver it to the town below. Then, while they're going down in that rickety truck that the father had, the milk was in big cans, and the father is singing and driving or whatever, and the kid is next to him. The truck goes off the mountain, falls down the cliff, and the boy's dying thought was, "I wish you had been more careful. Now I have to die because of you. You have been careless." And that was the end of it. She, of course, sat on the internet. She looked for those cans and things and realized that yes, that particular area, they do use those cans. And then she realized that she is defiant because of her attitude of that time. And the father is overprotective because he realizes that because of him, they died. Since that day, their relationship is beautiful. I mean, my husband has a problem, he immediately calls her up and speaks to her. I come later.
Yeah, I
That
was
is the beauty
a
of it.
pampered one and I could just get away with everything with dad. But now, she gets away with everything. And he doesn't even talk to me.
That's how it goes. Relationships get mended this way. It is a beautiful experience.
So you're saying only even if one person regresses, that can fact, the energy.
Yes, definitely. Because the moment she saw why she is defiant, she realized that Papa is trying to be nice to me, and I always go off at a tangent because I don't have my faith in him. But that was another lifetime, so there's a closure to the soul. What they say is, when the experience is such that you suddenly die, the soul doesn't know what's happened. So that is why the soul is still living in that time. Even in this life, the reactions are the same. The moment you bring a closure to the incident, then it is relieved. So it is basically to relive is to relieve. Yes, please.
I have two questions.
Yes.
You just talked about mending relationships. Can you talk a little bit about mending relationships with unborn children?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So what is your exact question?
My exact question is is it possible to work with an individual like me who has miscarried and do any kind of mending with the relationship between myself as the mother and my unborn child?
The unborn child means what? I did not understand.
I'll make you understand. She has got expecting mother. For example, I'm expecting a child.
You are expecting?
No. It's an example.
Chayanika, I'm talking about the miscarriage.
Oh, now I get you. Yes, it is quite possible. Now I get you. It is very much possible. Because see what happens, science says matter cannot be created or destroyed. Science says that. But yes, matter can be transcended. So, what happens when you are born, what happens when you die? You have a physical body. And when you die, that physical body disappears. It goes into the earth. So what about the soul? Where has it come from and where is it going to go? It is there, It is there in some form. So for the unborn children also, it is quite possible. And again, even if you don't believe in it, see, I'm talking from that perspective also. Even if you don't believe in it, it is all about you. You are not at rest for some reason. So we work upon you. And when we work upon you, your perception about the problem or all the stored emotions inside your body or your insights about your own life gets clarified. So you are at peace. That is what happens.
May I share something on this? Just quickly answer
And
the
I have
question.
worked upon my issues, so I can vouch upon it.
I'm a holistic wellness coach and an Ayurvedic doctor. So I also work on age regressions and the energy bodies which are attached to you. So when I work with the infertility cases, I observe that there are various cases where I see that there are certain energy bodies which are attached. And when I ask the person, they definitely tell me if there is a miscarriage or abortion. And you can actually see, because being in my practice for 20 years, there's a kind of intuition which a practitioner gets. So when I ask them and I give the number of energy bodies and they validate it for me. So at that point of time when she's saying that yes, I think more than the child which is unborn, it is a mother who carries whatever the regret, guilt, or maybe the whatever around that aspect. The emotion which is a so-called negative emotion which the mother goes through. And I'm sure those who have gone through that experience, I myself have gone through that experience, so for a very long time it's a memory which haunts you. Oh, I would have had that baby, oh, it would have happened this way. So I think it's more essential for us to release that aspect and understand that what happened in the past was supposed to happen that way, and from there if you move on with a complete grace and healed body and mind and emotion, I think your healing is done. And as she says that there is this energy which is there in the space somewhere, it will definitely transcend to somewhere else and it will move on to somewhere else. I also have seen in other cases of mine that the same energy is been reborn with the other child or in the family somewhere. So there are those kind of incidences which I have also come across. So it's definitely very, very easy to take care of the newborns or not unborn. So there is so much happening there in the womb also. So, and particularly if you understand after the 4th month, if there is a miscarriage and abortion, because they say that after the 4th month the heartbeat starts, and that's where the energy comes. Otherwise, it's just the just the embryo which is growing, the flesh which is there. So I think it's generally what the regret and the guilt which the mother carries before 4 months of the conception. I mean, the first 4 months of the conception is the mother needs to deal with, and if it is after 4th month, that 4th to 9th month of the conception, if the miscarriage or abortion has happened, I think that's where you need to also work on the energy which is there. I've also seen a few cases where if the energy is also released, because of the mother's guilt and her emotions, she carries on the other energy. So there is an attachment there, and that's why the woman is not conceiving. So there are so many incidences I have seen with the fibroids and polycystic ovarian syndrome and the infertility, where there is an attachment of other energy apart from her own unborn child. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any more questions?
Yeah, actually, let's have these discussions outside because we need to close the session now. Okay?
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
please, everybody can come forward.
Please come forward.
We'll take the questions offline.
We're there to answer, don't
Yeah, we are there.
We're all there. We'll be outside answering questions. Let's just have a nice group.
Thank you.